Welcome and thank you for joining us on this episode of Tone Setters TV, where we invite people to own your tone. With your host, Christopher not Chris of Tone Setters Entertainment. This week on Tone Setters TV, Alvin Perry talks about a business that he created from a product he once undervalued. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Christopher not Chris here for another episode of Tone Setters TV. Today we are here with Mr. Alvin Perry, otherwise known as AP, of Bullhead Tees and Designs. AP, I appreciate you joining the show today, telling us a little bit about your experience. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great.
That's what's up, man. So let's get right into it. Bullhead Tees and Designs. So I know you make t-shirts, you do designs, your own custom designs. How long have you been doing it, and what made you start making your designs and your t-shirts?
Well, technically it's called Bullhead Tees LLC now. But on the Facebook, my Facebook page is still Bullhead Tees and Designs. I've been officially making t-shirts myself since 2015. After going through a couple of people to get shirts made, I got my income tax, man. I went and bought a heat press, a brand new laptop, and a cutter. And I had been watching a guy, and I started doing it myself. But I had been selling t-shirts on my own since 2000 and technically 2012. The guy that originally was making shirts for me, Troy Nell Williams, shout out to Clipper T. He was making shirts for me. And then, my wife was like, hey, man, you can make this money too. But she said, you could do this. And I was like, I didn't know how to get started. So I ended up going through another company to get some shirts made. They was getting screen printed. And then I ended up, going through a lot of different companies trying to find the best deal or whatever. And then I was introduced to a guy, my homeboy Josh. And he did vinyl, or heat press, which was the first time that I even, heard about. Well, that's what Troy Nell did too, but I didn't know it at the time. Anyways, he kind of gave me the game, and it went from there.
That's what's up. So I've been in the hunt for t-shirts and trying to get t-shirts made, and made some t-shirts on my own, so I can understand how, seeing it over and over again, it was like, hey, let me just try to, jump in the game. And I think that's how a lot of us get into situations, not finding what we're looking for elsewhere, maybe, or maybe not as quickly as we would like to, so we start doing it ourselves. So
yeah, to what you're saying, I didn't respect the t-shirt business and the people that was making shirts for me. So just briefly, Troy Nell and Josh, I treated them the exact same way because I was bringing them business. I expected a deal, a discount, and so I would tell somebody, not understanding the price and anything. You might ask me for a shirt and I might say $15. Well, I'm going to Josh and Troy Nell with these orders like, hey, I need this, that, and the other. And they're charging me basically what I'm charging these other people, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times I wasn't even making money. And then I'm upset like, man, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gave him all this business. He can't cut me a deal so I can make money. But at the end of the day, none of this stuff is cheap. It appears cheap in people's mind because Walmart sells, $5-6 shirts. But you're not talking about Walmart, especially if you're talking about big shirts, like a 2X shirt. It's $5 almost anywhere. At the cheapest, you might find like $4.55. But and then again, it's t-shirt quality, so people might not want a thick Fruit of the Loom shirt, whatever. So it's all about prices. This is a little big but a sheet of vinyl is about this size, like a regular sheet of vinyl, a foot of vinyl. And so somebody say, well, if you don't use all this, somebody might say, well, you can use it for somebody. Well, somebody else might not want this. And that's the thing about it is. So if I spend, if depends on where I get this from, but if I get it from Herwick's, this is going to cost me $5 just for this right here. You know what I'm saying? So you talking about, so you wanted a 2X shirt. I already spent $5 for the shirt. I done spent $5.80 for this sheet right here. that's $10 right there. That's over $10 I done already spent. And even though I'm gonna have some extra material left, again, it's no guarantee. Depends on the color that I'm gonna even use that material again. So it's like, you have to price it to where you can actually see a profit.
Nah, that makes sense. And you ain't lying. I've been to Herwick's myself.
Yeah.
I do a little screen printing, so I know how they do. I know how it goes down when you try to make that shirt. You try to find yourself a little profit out of it without hitting everybody over the head, but that stuff be expensive. So I've definitely experienced that. As far as, being in business for yourself, what changed? You said initially you had kind of a mindset that, they ain't giving me a deal or whatnot. When was that moment that it kind of clicked for you? Like, oh, I see why it's not going how I thought it was going to go.
When I started making my own shirts. And then, like, now people come to me and they say, oh, I'm trying to start a t-shirt line. I'm trying to close the line. And I have to tell them no. Like, no, it's not profitable for me because you're trying to make a certain amount of money. And I have to charge you this money for me to even see a profit. My wife has always tried to get me to only do this. But I wouldn't be able to do that, trying to get people deals. And then people don't understand that they think that 10 shirts is a lot of shirts or 5 shirts is a lot of shirts. So they're like, oh, I can't get a tax, a price break. That's not, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, it depends on where you go to get material. You might go somewhere and like one place I get t-shirts. Like after you buy 100 t-shirts, it's cheaper. Depends on where you go. After you buy so much stuff, it's cheaper. So for me, if I go get 10 something that's not cheaper, they not giving me a tax break. I mean, they not giving me a price break, and I can't give you a price break. But that's how people see it. So going through all this with people, it was like, okay, I have to be like this, to be able to see a profit, to be able to see how much money I'm making. Because if you want to be a legit business, and I am a legit business, I have a DBA, I pay taxes, and now I have an LLC. I have to pay taxes on this. So it's like you don't want to be like, oh, well, I lost $100 or $1,000. I lost $500 before, but that's.
We'll say that for another interview. Well, yeah, man. So, I mean, I know how it goes. When I first got my camera, I didn't really understand all the stuff these fellas be going through, from the videographer standpoint, from the photographer standpoint, all the different equipment and little pieces and little things that you need. And so I definitely understand where you're coming from of, taking it on yourself and then starting to realize that, okay, I see why they're charging what they charge.
Yeah, labor.
Yeah.
Your labor is editing. My labor is being in front of this hot heat press at 340 degrees for hours, trying to get these shirts done. So on top of what you spent on material, just the time it takes to actually get it done, and that's what people don't see.
Yeah. So you've been making shirts since 2012, you said, right?
I've been selling shirts since 2012, but making them since 2015, making them myself.
Got you. So since 2015, 6 years in, as far as making the shirts, what has been a big challenge for you in, transitioning into business for yourself?
The biggest challenge is separating friends and business, or people you liking somebody or whatever. Business and friendship can go hand in hand, but it shouldn't. People should respect that this is a business, that you have to make money. They shouldn't come with a handout or expecting anything like I did in the beginning, because that's where things can get choppy. And even if you did it for one person, that one person might not respect your business enough to where, because they always expect this. So for me, and then also not getting a deposit, trusting people. Trusting, I got shirts, right? Just 2 shirts. Somebody asked me to make. I have a lot of shirts, but I'm just like those in my face right now. The people asked me to make shirts for them, which is how I lost the $500, and not getting no money up front or what, had a deposit, and all that adds up. Even if it's over years, you make shirts with somebody and then they don't, you trust that they gonna buy them, they gonna get them, and then they don't. They flake on you for whatever reason, or because you're cool with somebody and they always expect you to make it for free or for a low price, and just that's really the biggest challenge is trust and separating friends and business.
Preaching to the choir on that one. Yeah, that's definitely a big challenge that I think a lot of us face, especially when we provide some type of product or service that's very common. People kind of treat you common when they see you doing it because that's my homeboy. Let me get this kind of deal. So I definitely understand that. As far as the flip side of that, what do you find to be some of your bigger accomplishments that you've had in this space?
Man, I made some shirts for some pretty awesome people. Being able to do things that do charity work. Like when I go speak to schools, I usually make shirts for the kids. But just being able to provide a service to people in need really is an accomplishment for me in itself. I would do this for free if I had money because I just enjoy doing this. Now, what I don't like doing, I really don't like making rest in peace shirts. But I do it because people need them, but it's not like something that I take pleasure in doing it. But if I had money, if I was rich, or I came across a lot of money, I would just do this just because I enjoy doing it.
That's good, man, and that definitely shows like the dedication to what you're doing. The fact that you do it, even if you had the opportunity to do it for free, because I know a lot of people in business don't feel the same way.
Yeah.
So I mean that is respect, just to show that it's not. Of course, you do want to make a profit, but it's not all about a dollar. So that's definitely respectable. So all around San Antonio, probably all around Texas, you can probably ship shirts out of state at this point. What is your favorite design that you've done so far?
The one that I'm probably most known for, which I just came up with the saying, Troy Nell actually designed it, which is the I'm the East Side shirt. And it's nothing but just the words stacked on top of each other. That's what really got me started. That's what, even to this day, people, when they see it, they asked about it. It symbolizes so much. It means so much. And, with that, I'm the West Side. I'm the Northeast. I'm the South Side. I've made so many I am the something shirts. It is a San Antonio version of Nipsey's Crenshaw shirt. But that one right there, I have a lot of original designs, but that I personally designed myself. But that shirt, because I set the line in the wrap, and I was like, I want this on a shirt, and whoop, there it is. I designed this too, but a lot of stuff I designed myself for me. Like I'll make something for me and I'll post it, and people are like, oh, I want that, but nothing trumps the I'm the East Side shirts. I haven't had a shirt that sells more than that shirt. Even I've changed the design and people like the original design. Again, to this day, it's been 10 years, or going on 10 years at the end of this year, that I've been selling this shirt faithfully and consistently.
That's what's up. And I've definitely seen the I Am the East Side shirts on you and on on a bunch of other people. So I'm sure that's one of your top sellers.
I didn't have no other shirts at one point in time. If you go through my pictures, it's like I was wearing them in the clubs.
Hey, but that's how you brand yourself. That's how you brand yourself. 9 times out of 10, when people see me, I got my Tone Setters Entertainment shirt on, just for the sake of, hey, you gonna remember this.
Yeah.
You may not see it right now. It may not get to where I want it to be right now, but you're gonna see it down the line. So it's good that you, instead of wearing everybody else's clothes,
Yeah.
you wearing your own stuff, branding yourself, making sure people know what you have available. So the last question I'm gonna ask you, I ask everybody that comes on Tone Setters TV, can you give us one book that you've read? It don't have to be a recent read. It could have been something you read a while back, but one book that you've read that's had an impact on your life that you think may have an impact on some of our viewers' lives.
That is a good question because I've read a lot of books in my lifetime. I think one of my favorite books is I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which is by Maya Angelou, and it's basically part one of a 3-part series about her life, and it's the younger part about her life. It's most known because it's the story where she talks about being mute for 5 years. But that's not the most important part of that story to me. One of the funniest part about that story is she talks about when she used to go to church with her grandmother, and there used to be this lady who was always up there, like when the pastor be preaching, "Come on, pastor!" And one time she slapped the pastor in the back and knocked his teeth out, and his teeth went flying across the floor. But it was just a great story. It was a great read. It was inspiring in so many ways. One, because I'm a writer, and the way she wrote the story. I like it's one of those books that I had like, oh, you should read this. It's like I was telling you, you should read this, and but that will have an impact on other people, man. That it's I guess you have to look at it like what do people get out of reading? You know what I'm saying? Are you looking for life inspiration, or are you just are you looking for value or something like that? Because Eric Jerome Dickey had this book that I like. It's called Chasing Destiny, and the reason why I like that book because it was relatable to teens. You know what I'm saying? It was about a young girl who she had ran away, and a lot had happened during that time or whatever. And I thought it was like one of those books like every teenager should read. So, those two books definitely. Chasing Destiny by Eric Jerome Dickey, and I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou.
Hey, we'll take it. 2 for 1 is always a good deal. So we'll definitely take it. We'll definitely check you out again. If you can give us your Instagram or social media where we can find you.
For the T-shirt business, Bullhead Tees on Instagram, and Bullhead Tees and Designs on Facebook, and that's it. But I'm Alvin Perry. You can find me anywhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mr. Alvin Perry, you can definitely find him anywhere, especially in the city of San Antonio. You never know where you're gonna run up on him. I appreciate you for coming to join us for this episode of Tone Setters TV, or allowing us to come join you for that matter. But appreciate you stepping in, telling us a little bit about your experience. I'm sure we'll talk to you again since you said you're a writer. I'm sure there's a book on the way or something.
I'm trying to get 2 done by the end of this year.
All right. So when those books hit the streets, then we got a whole another interview to go. So Tone Setters, y'all stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.